Good morning.
Good
No, good
morning.
afternoon for you, right? What time is it there?
It's still morning.
Oh, it's still
Yeah,
morning.
another
Okay. Well,
20
it's
minutes.
early morning here for our first check-in. This is exciting. I'm excited.
hmm
I I love check-ins. I love accountability. I love sharing what I'm doing. So,
And you've been doing a lot, so I think you should start.
okay, I'll start. Well, I had a writing weekend this weekend, very dedicated. So I am finishing up a novel that I started working on almost 2 years ago at this point. I did a big burst for NaNoWriMo, the monthly November writing session that a lot of people participate in. And I got a lot done then, and I've been working on it ever since. And I made myself a promise. My birthday is next week, and I wanted to finish a rough draft by my birthday. So I had, at the time when I made this commitment about a month ago, I had several chapters left, and I've been plugging away very dedicatedly every morning. And then through Shut Up and Write, which is this organization that is now virtual, used to be in person, people get together and just shut up and write for a time. And somebody organized a day-long writing retreat yesterday, and I thought, this will be perfect. So, so I went to that, and I got 2 full scenes written, and I blocked out the rest of the probably 3 or 4 scenes that I have to finish. So I have my goal for the week, which is to do that. But I wanted to mention that what I really loved about this, I've been to this organizers group a couple times, and she blends in not just writing, but when she does these day-long things, she has little breaks in between to stretch and move and meditate, and that was lovely. And she started with this great prompt for just a few minutes. She had us actually just kind of first like drop down into our bodies and kind of experience how we were feeling, so we could kind of come in without all the whatever we had in our non-writing life. And then she had us embody our writing projects, which I love those kinds of prompts. You and I often offer those and talk about that. It was just great to experience that. So I got to write from the perspective of my novel, and I discovered it said it was very happy with me and it thanked me for paying so much attention to it. And it said that because I was paying so much attention, it was able to give back to me. So that was really fun. So that was my immediate experience of the weekend, and it was really fun. And now I'm pretty jazzed to continue on for the rest of the week, and just every morning I'm going to be plugging away at my scenes.
So can you give us a tiny hint of what this novel's about?
Oh, yes, I can. Sure. It's tentatively titled The Walking Ladies, and it's funny. I started it because I wanted to try something different. I said, I've never written a mystery before. Let me try that. And then, as always, it veered back into literary fiction. So it's what I love to do best. It's like a blend of a mystery with character-driven literary fiction. And it's got at the center a relationship between 2 women who are very different, and they both have to kind of dive into their pasts to figure out what's going on with them. But it's also got body parts and a mystery, like an actual mystery with the police and investigations and things like that. So, yeah,
Cool.
it's been a lot of fun. So I'd love to hear what you were up to this weekend, or the past week, actually, I guess, in your writing and other related life.
Well, I'm in this little lull, actually, very pleasant lull, because I got my last book project done, and it's off to the book designer, and it's out of my hands for now. And I haven't started anything else, and I probably won't, because I have a lot to do. I have a lot coming up. I'm working on other books, publishing other books, because I am a publisher, among other things, and editing and starting my classes and waiting for my grandchild. And
wow.
Driving back to the US, and it's just not a good time to start anything. But I have been thinking about another book project. I have a sabbatical coming in hopefully fall 2022. And of course, you have to make a proposal for a sabbatical a year in advance and say what you're going to do. So I've been thinking about that. And what I want to do is a teaching memoir, or a memoir of how I've developed as a teacher.
Oh,
Uh,
that sounds
so,
like a great idea. But I also, well, you made me think of two things. One, I want to know the book that you said you just finished. What is that? Can you tell us more about that?
yeah, I'm very excited about that book. It's called Purposeful Memoirs: A Quest for a Thriving Future.
Ah,
And it is a blend, a real hybrid fusion of personal essay, kind of literary criticism, because I write about all my favorite books and my inspirations and mentors, and writing prompts. And it's divided into 8 quests, and each quest focuses on a positive quality that we need more of in our personal lives and in the world for a thriving future.
ah,
So each one talks about that quality kind of in my life and as it's shown up in other purposeful memoirists' books and lives, and then has prompts. So it's like, okay, now over to you, pass the mic. Let's hear how this has shown up in your life. And then it also is illustrated with my photos of Nova Scotia. So
oh my
it's my
gosh.
first color photo book,
Okay,
foray. I haven't tried
when is it
that.
coming? I want a copy.
I know, right? I do too. Well, sometime in the fall.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
So you've just given birth to this creation. And the
yeah,
other thing I wanted to ask was how it feels to be in that space. You said you're in a lull, but not a bad kind of lull. Like describe more how it feels to just be in that space of completion of one thing and then anticipation of the next. Because I think sometimes people discount that and they want to, rush right off and get started on something else right away. But talk
yeah.
more about.
Oh, I think it's a good feeling. It's kind of like a afterglow, a creative afterglow of and being open to new ideas at the same time. I like it. I think some people talk about, post book launch depression, like postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that myself.
Yeah. No, I kind of feel the same way with I feel a great, maybe it's because I it seems like I always have so many things I want to work on that there's always a tug of something else out there. And I guess it could be depressing if you finish something and you have nothing on the horizon, but sort of
Right.
having other things brewing makes it exciting. And the other thing too, though, I think is not to rush forth into any of those things, but kind of, as you were saying, you just kind of sit and let them percolate and develop and rise up as they may. So
Mhm. You've been much more prolific than I have. So I do a lot of percolating, I think.
well, well, that's an interesting thing because I think that we were talking about our new workshop series that's coming up, and the free class that we're offering in September to kind of give people an idea of that. We were talking about these masculine and feminine energies, and I think I dwell much in the masculine. I'm like, let's go, let's do the next thing, let's get this done, let's finish this. Often, sometimes at the expense of really taking the time to sit and be and not do. So for me, that's something I've really had to cultivate and learn is how to just stop and not move forward and let myself be in that space of just allowing things to come. So I think we're all
Gestation.
just gestation. Exactly. I know, what a perfect segue. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. So yeah, and speaking of gestating things, we are gestating our next workshop series for the fall. So that'll be really exciting. I really, it was so, we started last year with that one group, and weren't exactly sure how it would go, and it really ended up blossoming and flowering. And let me see if I can think of any other metaphors that are birth-like. Yeah, it was great. So.
Yeah, well, in fact, that one's still going. Those
Yes.
That first group didn't want to stop, so we blew right past the 9 months.
Yes, that's true. We had a very long, like an ongoing gestation with them.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to a new group starting in September. And yeah, so we should let people know. I guess we can when we post this video, I'll put some links in the bottom. But let me see if I can share this little slide that we made, and that way people can see what we're planning as we talk about it. And all right, you talk while I'm doing this because things have disappeared.
Oh no, the old share.
Oh, here we go, share screen. Here we go. Okay, so let me just share this. And then people can see exactly what we were talking about. Yes. So there we are. Yeah. So this has just been, I think it was appropriate for us to talk about the writing and the prompt and your book, where you have this sort of essay like quality mixed in with prompts, because I think that's really kind of what we're planning for the class, right? It's going to be a blend.
Yeah. So this time around, we're kind of splitting off the class with generative writing prompts and the writing circle to share, because people, the sharing is so important, and the class is also really important, and we didn't want to give either one short shrift. So
yeah. So it's going to be,
and it also makes it more, that there's actually going to be something going on in the class pretty much every week.
Right.
So it makes it more constant, more intensive.
Yeah, and because we have the 2 sessions, sort of the class session, the sharing session twice a month, and then in between, you and I are both going to have our office hours, which people have really liked that, I think, because it's smaller groups and the ability to just kind of have some time to share maybe more about the process that's going on. So getting a little bit of that accountability that we know is important.
Yes. Check in like
yeah, exactly, just like we're going to be doing. So we're going to continue these, right? These weekly check-ins, we're going to keep doing it, and anyone who wants to follow our respective progress can tune in. We'll post them weekly. And I guess I can stop sharing my screen briefly before we sign off here. I also haven't been watching the time. I'm hoping that was about 10 minutes or so, because we don't want to make these too long.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. Anything else to add before we sign off for today?
I'll just add in a teaser, which is that when I go back to the States next week, I'm going to finally hold in my hands the deck of cards I made with writing prompts. So one thing I'd like to do when I can is share those with you.
Oh, I'd love that. So will you actually be back next week, or maybe the week after?
The week after.
The week after. Okay, so in 2 weeks we'll have a little slideshow.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. All right. Fantastic. Well, this has been fun. I can't wait to do it again, and I will see you next week.
Sounds awesome.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.